Welcome back to the BPL cricket field. No. A big sign saying no signal.
So far down the track, on the center of the track. We lose. I knew about that. It happened last night too.
Oh well. Your moment of glory stolen.
Totally. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, exactly. Put it in after.
We could have done that. Absolutely. We could have done that.
You could have overdub it. Hello. I'm out here with the two umpires and the two captains.
Yeah.
Like a Darth Vader effect on your voice.
Absolutely. It's sad that the wireless frequency doesn't go as far.
Oh, really?
watching live feed. I'm right there right now.
Okay, go all the way to the first stage. What do you see at the first stage?
I'm gonna hit live.
No, not live.
Live now.
Because, see, this is live. This is perfect.
Yep.
Okay, that's what recorded. Thank you.
But my audio probably.
Audio was not recorded. Yes.
Say it.
That I agree.
That's okay.
That I agree. Josh was recorded because I was sitting right there. Quality कच्ची हो गई साथ.
Despite the audio, the quality of the video is amazing.
Okay, guys. So I need to do some more research right now. You have your headset. I want you to actually listen to it and tell me how the levels are. It's always live. Live or whatever.
On YouTube.
Yeah, I'm just giving you guys. No, I'm giving.
Alright.
them on my phone. Okay, say something, Rick, or whoever.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3.
He hasn't texted you yet. Keep talking, because there's a lag, so we don't know.
Welcome back to Bolingbroke Premier League cricket field. Check 1 2.
Okay, I'm gonna just.
Is your volume up?
Volume is up. Yeah.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Nothing so far, Jimmy.
Check, check, check. Check.
You know, hey, he's getting the sound.
I'm hearing Jamie.
How's the level? I mean,
It's decent.
that's decent. Is good. Maybe the converter, something with my phone, whatever. I don't care. Done. Refresh.
Speaker on it. Spectators go hold you.
Speaker, take right.
Who won the toss?
Welcome back to the BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup. Game 3 of the day. Stephen Taylor having won the toss.
And Rick, no hesitation from Stephen Taylor at the toss to decide to bat first. Powerful batting lineup for the Freedom Fighters.
Absolutely none. Given what we have seen thus far in this Liberty Cup, the confidence. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. spectators here, right here. I don't hear Jamie at all. What happened with our speaker? I get the live broadcast. This work all day? Should we be on the wired mic then? No?
Steve Dodson, it would appear, will take the strike for the first ball. Had a bat so far in the tournament. We know who the wicketkeeper is.
I don't.
Can you ask the umpires who the wicketkeeper and the opening bowler are?
Ali, can you radio the umpire for the wicketkeeper and the opening pair?
Opening bowler. Who's got the bat? Yeah, it's Dodson. Yeah. Fahad Baba. Just a reminder that this is a match from the pool with only 3 teams in it. So Freedom Fighters, having already won 1 game, if they win this match tonight, they are guaranteed of a spot in the semi-finals. Here we go, we've got the Freedom Fighters 11 on screen. Elmore Hutchinson, Stephen Taylor, Nicholas Puran, Fahad Baba, Nikita Miller, Akil Hussain, Toledos Lopez, Brian Gale, John Campbell, O'Neill Brown, and Akeem Dodson. United 11, Arjit Singh, Ashwin Jayanti, Kalyan Chanduri, Randeep Sapal, Sandeep Mehta, Sanjeev Sharma, Saral Gupta, Vijay Karapati, Nisar Hayat,
Yes, I can hear you.
Rajesh Jena, and Bhagat Chowdhury. Now match officials for today, Vijay Malela, Isan is the 2 on-field umpires, Bashir Laliwala is the 3rd umpire. And our sponsors, I'd like to thank them very much for their support in this tournament. Liberty Cup T20, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi, Gatorade, all powered by Crick Clubs. The bowler's name. Bowler's name. Ali.
Bhargav Chaudhary.
Bobby Chowdhury. And you know the keeper. The first ball. Wide outside or stump. And it will be called wide. You don't know the keeper. Yes, excuse me. Keeper's name? Ashwin. Thank you. Fine, bat on ball for Dodson. Got a man stationed in the deep at long off already. So he'll get a single.
Umair bhai, can we possibly get onto the speakers for spectators? It's not as much fun. What happened here? It's a glitch. Trying to get these guys to work it out.
2 without loss. Wide and a single. Fahad Baba down onto
fix it. The people here are complaining about not being able to hear us.
Big shot down the ground. That's going to be the first maximum off the back foot. That's a pretty amazing shot off the back foot from Dodson. The straight full shot. Oh, this time a good follow-up delivery. Beats Dodson outside the off stump. Well bowled. Driving this time wide of the man at long off. Come back for a couple. Good running. 11 runs so far off this opening over from Chowdhury. Bowled too badly. Dodson looking to play his shots. And another big one. This could be a chance. And the catch is taken. And Akeem Dodson will have to walk back to the players' pavilion. He's been caught in the first over. Maybe the fielder. Nasser Hayat, the man who took the catch at long off, took it very comfortably in the end, made it look easy. But believe me, when a ball goes high in the air like that, it is never easy. But he's done well, and a big breakthrough for United early. Get rid of the dangerous Dodson. New batsman with number 6 on his back. Brian Gale. So a complete change in the batting order from the first match. Ron Campbell and Fahad Barber opened in that match, with Stephen Taylor coming in at 3.
But the speakers for the field though, is it working? All 3 mics. Wired or wireless, okay?
Just the
So we're doing live stream with these. I thought these weren't working at all.
So Brian Gale will be on strike at the start of the second over, and we're just awaiting the name of the new bowler.
Who's the bowler?
So Nasser Hayat, first delivery to Brian Gale, and he's worked him away behind point for a couple of runs. Nasser Hayat already in the action, of course, taking the catch to dismiss. In fact, we've got a no ball. Looks like a mistake in the number of players inside the inner ring, perhaps. So a free hit. So no ball plus 2 runs. 3 runs essentially without a legitimate ball being bowled. And that must be frustrating for the bowler. It wasn't his mistake. So 14 for 1. Driving into the offside. Just 1 this time.
Freedom Fighters 15 for the loss of 1 wicket at 1.1. Going good. Last game of the day. Exciting cricket on hand in BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup. Welcome.
So Baba back on strike. Short, pulled, good shot. They're going to have to run it though. I think it's going to pull up short. And they'll turn for 3 now. In fact, they could have almost run 4 there, but they settle for 3. Short outside off stump this time. Left alone by Gale.
Two prominent and experienced batters in play from Freedom Fighters at the moment, and Fahad and Brian.
Bowling by Nassar here. Getting some decent movement in the air. Initially it's on the stumps and then swinging away. Gale watching it closely. This time a straighter ball and he just defends it. Perhaps not quite the fireworks we expected from the Freedom Fighters at this stage, but plenty of big hitters to come. And that's a better shot. A little bit of width on offer this time, and Gale slashes away over backward point for 4. That will end the over. Second over of the innings. 11 runs off it. Same as the first, so 22 for 1. Freedom Fighters winning the toss and batting first. There's another look. Well, there's a look at the scorecard, I should say. Keem Dodson already back in the hutch. You can see the likes of Stephen Taylor and Nicholas Pooran, John Campbell still to come. All capable of hitting big. Another thanks to our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi, Gatorade. No idea, I don't know their players. Yeah, I think so, lefty.
So just like the last game, Rick, I'm sure these guys will be looking for 220 plus.
This has absolutely truly been an interesting contest in terms of teams winning the toss with in terms of the decision about bowling first and putting a score on the scoreboard and being able to defend it, despite the fact that this tournament recently obviously has been in the favor of the chasing teams.
Although we've seen a little bit of a change today where the teams setting targets have won on both occasions, and it was no surprise really with the powerful batting lineup that Freedom Fighters have that they elected to bat first here. Time over pitched and driving as Baba. Just get the single. So another long day here at the BPL cricket field. And the lights coming on now as it's getting darker. This match will be played under lights for the vast majority of it, as this is a big shot down the ground. Oh, and the fielder, well, it would appear that he did very well to keep the ball in the field. That is Hyatt, who's in the middle of a bowling spell at the other end. Fantastic bit of fielding. In the end, they get 3 runs. As we can see, the lights beginning to take effect. The sun is going down over what has been a pretty good day here in Illinois. Bolingbrook.
Freedom Fighters at 28 for the loss of 1 at 2.4, going at about 10 and a half and over.
Just defended this time by Baba. And Rick, I know one of the specialties of Chicago is their deep dish pizza. Slightly disappointed that we haven't been offered any yet this weekend.
Absolutely, and you might be surprised that I'm a thin crust guy as opposed to the deep dish pizza, having been a prominent Chicagoan for the last 20 years or so.
Well, that's okay. You're allowed your preferences. I'm a big fan of New York pizza myself, which I guess would be considered thin crust pizza. The big slices, which you just fold in half. But it's not exactly athlete's food, is it?
It's not at all. A huge Chicagoan that absolutely is extremely biased and extreme proponent of everything having to do with Chicago, weather-wise, food-wise, nightlife, but absolutely on the side of the East Coasters as you in terms of pizza liking.
So you're a big Chicago Bears fan then?
Anything to do with the Chicago's sports, I have been particularly in terms of baseball, Cubs fan, and when it comes to the basketball, Bulls is my team, and rather not talk about football.
You might be struggling with basketball as well now that you've lost Jimmy Butler.
Horrible trade indeed.
It's bizarre. Their 2 best players have been traded out in the last 2 seasons.
Definitely, it was his team to carry through, but when it comes down to the monetary aspect and the return on investment, things actually turn out to be quite funny, and that was the end result that we lost Jimmy Butler.
Oh, bowling well as Nasser. Yeah, we're not getting sound from there. Yeah, the other one got smashed. So a single to Gale this time. So apparently the desk fell off the table, and since then there's been no sound to that. So Baba back on strike now. Full delivery, outside edge. He'll get a couple of runs here. This is the ball wide of third man. Wide to his left. Baba moving on to 8. Still early days in his innings, but he'll be pretty determined, I think, to bat long today.
Having missed out on the first game, a prominent, talented player from the local league.
Again, over pitching. He'll just take a single.
Having represented the USA, skilled, extremely talented,
There they are.
should absolutely make tonight count.
Using this, I'm taking them to my laptop. Using this one. Using this one. No, this one. Not this one. This is nothing. This is nothing. Using this guy. This guy? I put it. Okay? But
Again, driving down the ground.
generating the sound on the speakers.
No run.
These are not generating sound on the speakers.
And that's the end of the fourth over. 32 for 1 after 4.
Right?
Going at 7.75 per over currently. But a good over again from Hyatt. Only 3 singles coming from that over.
Decent start from Brian and Fahad representing Freedom Fighters at 31 for loss of 1 wicket at the end of the fourth over, going about a 7 and 7.5 run rate.
See, let's see if you hear them.
So just 4 overs
Hear that?
gone so far. They're already having a
See,
drink.
now he's talking. But if I need the wireless mic, please, very quickly. Yeah, this one is working. I don't know. This one is working. Yes. Yeah. But these two are not outputting on the speaker. That's the main concern for them.
The local
And also, this is not outputting to the speakers. This is music. But now this is coming, but I don't know what that means. The problem is this is going to the streaming.
So Chowdhury will continue from the far end with his left arm medium fasts.
Say something.
Big shot from Barber this time, pulled away into the onside.
Do you hear us on the speaker?
It should run away to the fence, and it has. 4 runs,
Oh, this is
first boundary from Baba.
we don't want this. This is the one that used to be around. Yeah, I have to cover the video. Go ahead.
This time just dropping it into the offside for a cheeky single. So they're taking things pretty easy at the moment, these two. Nothing too rash, not taking any undue risk, just setting a foundation. This time Gale unable to get bat on ball, looking to knock it into the leg side. This time he lays it off backwards a point. They'll just get the one though. Chowdhury, good delivery this time. Straight, struck Babar on the gloves. Unable to get a run. So both the bowlers, Chowdhury and Hyatt, doing a good job at the top of the innings. For United 11. Flicked away off the pad. Found some open space. He'll come back for two, will Babar. That'll be all he gets. And that ends another over. 8 runs from the 5th. And at the end of 5, it's 40 for 1. Freedom Fighters batting first, having won the toss against United 11. There's the scorecard. So they're going along fairly nicely, this partnership. Partnership worth 29 runs now.
I've got 40 for once. I've got 40.
What?
40.
39.
So have you got on strike?
I have Brian on spike.
Yeah, so do I.
It's Brian Gale on strike.
Yep.
That will change after first ball.
What's that?
That will change after first ball. The current starts you're seeing, right? That will change after first ball.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering where that extra run was.
So a good piece of fielding by the man at mid-on. Hyatt continuing. So a slight discrepancy in the score at the moment. But we will sort it out in time.
I've got Barber on 16.
Baba is on 15 and Brian is on 30.
Swing and a miss. Oh, thoughts that there might have been an edge, but the keeper dropped it anyway. But another good ball.
Brian on in years, according to your, how much is Brian?
13 off 16. Barber 16 off 12.
Baba is 15 of 12.
Okay. Oh, that's almost impossible.
Oh, and a good Yorker length delivery here. Gale manages to squeeze down on it, and he's going to get a couple of runs.
Freedom Fighters on the 41 for 1 at 5.3 overs at 7.45, attempting to launch the onslaught. Defended on the back foot by Brian for a single.
So Babar back on strike now. And that's a wide outside off stump. Another single to Babar. He moves on to 16 or 17. I've got 17. Nice looking shot, but straight to the man at cover. Misfield means they're able to get a single, however. And that ends another over. 6 gone now. The power play is done and dusted. 46 for 1, Freedom Fighters. 45 for 1, my apologies. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Does cricket clubs automatically switch players after? No, I'm not even looking at that. I'm just looking at your score. So, can we go back and just double check where we went wrong? You can't check the overs? You don't know how to check the overs?
And again, we want to thank our sponsors, Liberty Medical Center, Pepsi, Gatorade, powered by Crick Clubs.
You bowler? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to find out where it happened though, because that's when you can tell who might have made the mistake. It just fell off the table. It was in between the games. Yeah. The tractor ran over the wire and pulled it off. The one over here.
Shree starting his first ball. The overhand again. Pulled away for a beautiful shot into the leg side for a 4. Freedom Fighters are going to chugging along, taking their time. Not something that they were expecting, but United has brought their A game tonight. Fielding has been on point. And that was beautifully driven for a single into covers, and quick running again by the Freedom Fighters. Two. Beautifully bowled and left. Brian wanted to slash at that, but wisely chose to leave that alone. A little meeting between the batsmen. Just trying to get their heads straight, making sure that they go ahead and work the ball around for the singles and the doubles. And again, beautifully bowled by VJ.
That's the mistake. I've found the mistake.
United's giving their 110% tonight,
3.4 is a
of making
single
sure
to
that this
bottom.
is not going to be a short and a walkover,
He's still
like
on
many
strike,
expected.
and he gets another single. So the software,
Giving 110%.
what I've got is that ball where he
Was
scored a
anyone out?
single. It was actually a 2.
Was anyone out during that time on that over? No?
Right.
Something software.
So that over actually went
Beautifully bowled by
1.1.
VJ, but that was given a wide.
So,
Seems like the umpires are being a little generous tonight.
can I do that?
I guess so. There's no way for you to edit. You don't know how to do it.
Okay, so I can just add in extra for it.
And this over's gone 4 to dot dot dot.
In a wide.
Yeah, so the software's done something funny there because if you get a single, you should be off strike, correct?
Then how long can result strike?
Yeah. So it must have been a 2.
Yeah. So what should we do? Should we ignore it or?
If there is a way, I might know how to edit it because I've used a few of these different software.
Beautifully bowled by VJ. Sticking to his line and length. Not giving the batsman any width to work with. Brian just works that away on the leg side for a single. Freedom Fighters 53 for 1 at the end of 7 overs.
Then it will just erase the balls. That's all it is. It will mess up.
Okay, well, it's- And the score is in fact 54 for 1.
Please repeat the bowler name. Please repeat the bowler name. Is it Saral Gupta? Saral.
These guys need to learn how to talk. You need to talk back from a walkie-talkie. If you go there, then it's muffled. So you've got to hold it back a bit. So he can't hear you, you can't hear him. End of 7 overs.
आप बैठ सकते हैं यहाँ?
Sure, the Freedom Fighters will be wanting to pick things up a little here. We're expecting them to look to score more than 200. Only going at 7.5 at the moment.
And given their performance last night, Jamie, it's expected. 241 was the highest scoring total today, as well as in the tournament.
So Freedom Fighters with their power-packed lineup. What do you think the expected score that they're thinking about today?
Well, at the start I said I think they'd be targeting 220. As we see, wide plus 3 extra runs. It's an expensive delivery. Wide plus 3. Essentially 4 runs for nothing. Not a great start to Sorrell's spell. But yeah, I mean, they'd still want to target over 200. These guys will have to pick it up. That's a big shot. It's going to land short of the fielder though. They just get the single. I mean, there's plenty of big hitters to come. So you don't want to leave those big hitters in the shed unless you're going to go at 12 or 15 runs and over.
That's true, because you still have, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Stephen Taylor took a demotion, warned his players. That could have been a tactic that they're thinking about going into the semis. Wants his players to get the field practice, the match practice, to go out there and get the feel for the ball on the bat. And again, it could work either way.
Yeah, he's obviously got confidence in his whole squad, so he's mixed things up a bit to give a couple of other batsmen a go. Akeem Dodson missed out in the first match on getting a bat, so he opened today. Fortunately, he was out in the first over. Brian Gale didn't get a bat yesterday, so he's been given a chance at first drop as he drives down the ground. Man stationed at long on, keeps the scoring to 1.
I mean, you have to also give credit to where credit is due. United has come out with the energy, with the passion, and they've been bowling on good lines and good lengths, not giving any room to the batsmen, and their fielder's been backing them up.
Big shot this time. That should clear the ropes, and it does quite comfortably, and it's gone into the long grass, so perhaps we need to get ready for the umpires to call for a new ball.
I think we're in for some fireworks tonight. It's not July 4th, but I think the Freedom Fighters have another plan in mind.
Absolutely. And just as we've been talking about them upping the ante, they've got 14 off the first 4 legitimate balls of this over.
I think Stephen might have had a talk with Fahad after the first game yesterday and said, take your time, get your eye in, because we know you can do your damage.
And he's going big again. That's going to be back-to-back sixes, this time over wide, long on. Lovely shot. He just jumped back deep in the crease, waited for the ball. It was in perfect position for that shot. As the fireworks go off in the distance, the fireworks have started out in the middle here as well. Courtesy of Fahad Barber, back-to-back maximums.
Can he end it with another firework?
That would be nice. 20 runs already off the over.
You know, I think we've seen the largest crowd to date for this tournament.
Yeah, there's a few people in here, and I expect the crowds over the next couple of days to get bigger as we head towards finals day on Tuesday.
And it's going to be exciting. You got all this international talent coming to Bolingbrook. Again, thanks to Liberty Medical, Pepsi, Gatorade, and Crick Clubs for bringing us this beautiful tournament. Thank you, Mir.
So a big above the waist no ball means that this delivery will be a free hit. And this has been a bit of a disastrous over, really. And he's going to go for more runs here, probably 3 of them. As Gale touches No, they decide against the third. Just 2 runs, so 23 runs off the over in the end. And that's brought the run rate overall for Freedom Fighters up to 9.5. See, Fahad Barber's moved rapidly to 31 off 18. Brian Gale, 27 off 27. So he's faced the lion's share of the deliveries in this partnership. Sorry, Babar, of course, on 32. That's where that extra run is that we've somehow lost in the score on your screen. The score is, in fact, 77 for 1. And looks like the batsmen are calling for some drinks, perhaps. Thirsty workout in the middle with all the running between the wickets they've been doing.
It has been pretty steamy today in the 90s here in Bolingbrook. And hydration is key.
Absolutely. Very important to keep up your fluid intake. So the match will continue now. And it looks like Korapati will continue from the far end. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi and Gatorade.
And these beautiful views here in Bolingbrook, Illinois, brought to us by Crick Clubs.
Outside edge this time. There's no one stationed at a skinny third man, and that will run away for 4.
And it shows the class of Brian, giving that delicate touch, just running that down.
So 80 for 1 now. Heading towards 10 and over. And a nice shot. Cut shot. And they'd brought that third man finer after the first shot in the over. And now it's gone the other side of him for another boundary.
And I think the last drink break, the captain sent out a message to move on with it.
Yeah, they've got a lot of firepower in the shed, so they may as well just swing from the hip now. The likes of Stephen Taylor and Nicholas Pooran to come, amongst others. Shot down the ground, they'll get just the single. 86 for 1.
But you do have to give it to the United 11. You know, coming out in the beginning, giving their 110%, making sure that they're not giving anything away that wasn't deserved to be punished.
Swing and a miss this time from Babar. And yeah, I think you're right. I think the message certainly went out with that drink to have a real go at the ball.
Jamie, what do you think about how important is it for the bowler to set his field rather than the captain doing it for him?
As this time they'll get a couple into the deep. Oh, good question. I think it's important that it's a collaborative effort. It's a team sport. Teams need to work together. Of course, it depends on the culture of the team. and the teams that I've always been involved in, I like it to be a collaborative effort.
Here in the U.S., and I think it can be talked about all around the nation, it's a little bit different than that, where the captain you have, and again, popped up. Is he going to take it? And easily taken.
Who's that? So Kalyan is the man who took the catch. Kalyan Chanduri. So the second wicket goes down, and a good knock from Fahad Baba comes to an end. He's out for 34, and it will be interesting to see who Captain Stephen Taylor sends in next, whether it's himself. It's not Stephen Taylor. It is Nicholas Buran making his way out to the middle. Man who I believe has played a couple of T20 internationals for the West Indies. Powerful striker of the ball. If he gets going, we'll be witness to something special here.
You know, each team has their goals. Each player wants to be recognized. We saw a wonderful 100 today by the captain of Kings 11, Sunny Sohal. I think there's a little bit of a competition going on, saying I want to be the best batsman.
Yeah, certainly. Although you'd probably put Sohal's name at the top of the list currently. He's only been dismissed once in the tournament so far, and he's scored in excess of 150 runs.
And that's what drives the game. That's the beauty of cricket, is any player can be number one on any given day. It's all about the dedication, the drive to be the best.
So another change of bowler. Perhaps no surprise after the last over from this end went for 23 runs. Who's the bowler? Thank you. He wasn't on my list. Rajesh, what's his last name? Thank you. So a single into the offside of Jenna's second delivery will bring Nicholas Puran onto strike. 89 for 2, the score. 89. Remember, you haven't changed your score.
I haven't changed that one line you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have not changed.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no way for you to edit though.
No, I don't have. That's what.
Yeah. But the score is 89.
So I can put in an extra if you want. Extra. Yeah,
That's one. There's one run needs to be added to Babar's total.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, I did it. That's okay. It's already added.
Yeah, up there, but not on here, right?
Oh,
फहद
here I
बाबर
can add it.
फहद बाबर के ना एक डॉलर डालो.
अभी एक उसको. इधर I can add one white for that.
फहद
It's from a long time ago.
It's in fourth over. Okay.
So outside edge.
No, go back.
And that was given.
And he's been given. What was it, LB? Caught behind. The umpire deciding that he got a fine tickle on it. So 89 for 3 now the score, with the dismissal of Puran. Caught behind.
I don't think Puran was very happy with that decision. He didn't think he got anything on that. But again, you have to accept the decision that the umpire gives.
So excitement amongst the United 11 team, and well, they might be dismissing an international player as Stephen Taylor strides out to the middle. Correct. Yes. We are all set.
Looks like the captain himself has decided to come in and take control of these innings. Again, United giving it 110%. Not letting the freedom fighters have the control that they desired and that everybody expected.
I didn't see it.
He tried to work it on the leg side. He thought it was going to be wide. He tried to play at it.
So you got to tickle down the leg
He
side.
got a tickle. I don't know if he did, but that's what the umpire thought.
So very good over this by Jenner. His first, he's only conceded 1 run. And he took the all-important wicket of Nicholas Puran. Taylor will get off the mark and he'll retain the strike for the next over. The single down the ground, but the end of a fantastic over. A wicket and just the 2 runs for Jenner. 90 for 3 after 10. Although he shouldn't be playing because he was not named in the original squad. We can see that.
Halfway mark into the first innings. This is not something that we were expecting, Jamie, to have United put up such a fight given the first day into this tournament and as well as the first previous matches for today. It seems as if all the teams that have been coming in with foreign players have been dominant.
Yeah, although there's a long way to go yet. Still 90 for 3. On most occasions you'd take that at the 10 over mark in a T20 tournament. If they can score 110 in the last 10, which is quite possible, then they can still get to 200, which is going to require a pretty good effort from United 11 to chase down.
And I think it's all depending on Stephen, the captain, coming in, pacing the innings for the last 10 overs, setting the tempo, and making sure that Brian supports him as well, or vice versa.
Certainly. Karapati continues. Oh, tell you what, that came off something down the leg side. They'll come back for a couple. I'm sure that touched something. I saw a deflection, but the umpire's closer to the action than me. So we'll go with wides. 3 wides to start the new over. Vijay Karapati has bowled pretty well.
What do you think about the bowlers that United have brought on the field today?
They've bowled with a lot of intensity. They've done well. I was particularly impressed by, I think it was Hyatt, the opening bowler from the media centre end. Bowled well without a lot of luck. Yeah, it was Hyatt. None for 21 off 3. But they've all done a job. The only one to really bowl poorly was Gupta, who went for 23 off his 1 over. Taylor driving back over the bowler's head. He'll get just the 1.
What I've been impressed about is the dedication that the United fielders have displayed here tonight, giving 110%, making sure every run is earned. Bowlers giving it 110%. You have to give credit where credit is due, and United definitely deserves it. Again, worked on the leg side for a single, bringing Stephen Taylor, the captain of Freedom Fighters, on strike. You want to take a break?
Oh, do you want to jump in for a bit?
I would absolutely.
Sure.
VJ coming in for his 4th delivery. We're going down leg for an unnecessary appeal, but that's a common feature that we see here in the Midwest. Appealing is pretty big.
But I'm not trying to sound so completely unforgiving. That was the wrong line, wasn't it? In this particular format.
It was. You don't want to give any width, anything down the leg side. Batsmen thrive for anything on the leg side to capitalize on. Unfortunately, Stephen missed out on that one. And again, easily worked in on the leg side for 2.
Quite an interesting decision from the batting side first, despite the fact that they've gone good, irrespective of the irregular loss of wickets. 98 for 3, end of the 11th over.
Pretty wide. Bowler's not satisfied with that decision, but I think it's fair to say that was wide.
Too often we have seen into this contest, 6th game on the trot, that the effective bowling has been certainly outside off stumps and short and wide.
Worked into covers for 2.
I'm spare a thought for the expected local talent as well as the USA's representation in terms of the spectators, viewers online, fans online for Fahad Babar.
I think Fahad came out with intent, wanted to make sure that he's able to set his eye and have a big go at it. But again, as we say, cricket is a day-by-day game. It could be anybody's game. Hit the wrong shot, get a fine edge, pop the ball up, and you're gone. It takes dedication, it takes mental strength, it takes patience. But again, the bowler had the better of the day today. But again, Fahad played beautifully today, worked the ball around all areas of the field, and made sure that he made a contribution today, unlike yesterday.
Absolutely. Freedom Fighters, despite the loss of the regularly interval wickets, they're actually still scoring quite at a run flow at 9.18 at this stage of the game.
I think any team would be satisfied with the run rate that they're currently working at. 7 wickets in hand, having plenty of firepower in the dressing room. The Fighters are definitely not worried about the score that they're going to put up, backing up with their firepower and their bowling lineup as well.
It's quite interesting that you say that, Amr, because sixth game into the contest, we have seen that sides that are batting second have been comfortably been able to chase down the total that they have been put up against.
Indeed. Again, it's all about getting yourself in. As a batsman, me being a batsman myself, when we play, it's about getting your eye in and just working it. And towards the end, you go ahead and have a crack at it.
Amber, you having played for a few years as a top order batsman, how much is the sight ability and the timing comes into play in a game as such?
You have to stay focused. You have to work the ball around to make sure that you are taking your singles, rotating the strike, getting your eyes set in. And as a batsman, for any order that you go in, upper, middle, or lower batsman, you want to make sure you get the feel for the ball onto your bat. Read the pitch, read the pace of the ball, and work with that.
Well said. In terms of being able to read the pitch and the track, the surface and the conditions have been extremely consistent. The bounce and the pace have stayed true.
He tried to muscle that onto the leg side and only was able to achieve a single off of that. Rick, to come back to your statement, reading the pitch here in the Midwest, it's very true. The bounce, the pace is very true. You can trust the bounce. You can trust the pitch of the ball. Again, you have to take it at the merit of the ball and play it as such. Catch it as a call. Again, falls safe. Nasser, and there's an overthrow. I think the pressure of the run rate that the Freedom Fighters are going at right now is getting to the United fielders. One delivery remaining. Rajesh.
An attempted cut down to the third man region and a miss from Brian, who has been batting brilliantly, currently at 43 off of 39, and ably supported by Steven, who is at 9 off of 7. Coming back to the contest and the contrast, Amr, we have seen teams being able to comfortably chase down 180 plus thus far.
And
What do you
before we get to that comment, let's take a look at the beautiful facilities that BPO has provided for us. Liberty Medical Center, Pepsi, Gatorade, as well as Crick Clubs, providing us the opportunity for this beautiful, beautiful tournament. Plenty of local talent, local legends walking around, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the weather that's God has blessed us for today. A little bit heated today, but it's definitely dropped down to a comfortable temperature tonight.
Absolutely, it has cooled down. The breeze has calmed down as well, and it is absolutely perfect conditions for the game of cricket. An attempted heave into the covers from Brian, yielding no score. I beg your pardon, Stephen.
A single punch down the ground for a comfortably taken for that.
Amir, what do you reckon about the decision of batting first, despite the statistics so thus far in this contest, and teams being able to chase it down comfortably?
Teams usually. Oh, and what beautiful Yorker by Subtle. Brian, unfortunately, was not able to make it to his half century. Give credit where credit is due. Subtle giving it 110%. And getting that crucial wicket of the batsman that had his eyes set in. Going back to your point,
Batting first versus bowling first.
it's very important for a captain to take a look at the atmosphere, to take a look at the conditions, going for what he thinks his team's strength is. Looking at the competition, looking at the opposing team, that's what you look at. In this format of the game, again, anything can happen. But again, I believe, like I stated a little bit earlier, Steven would like to make sure that his batsmen get the match practice, get the feel on the ball, and make sure that they're ready for the semis, because I think they're pretty much locked in to be in the semis.
Absolutely stacked up on papers, stacked up with statistics, backing themselves up into reaching into the final stages of this BPL Liberty Cup.
New batsman in.
Wonderful weekend for the wonderful event by BPL. We are hearing some fireworks for this July 4th Independence weekend in the background. And wind has calmed down. Rain has gone away. And it is an absolutely beautiful evening for the game of cricket.
It has been. And again, for the next following couple of days, we are going to be seeing fireworks. Literally, because it is 4th of July, Independence Day here in the U.S. What are your plans, Rick?
My plans are to be here for this BPL's Liberty Cup, based on the fact that you and I have been living here for a long time.
Oh, and that was a chance given, but over the fielder's head for a boundary.
cheeky but effective. Going back to my point, from a weather perspective, we really couldn't have asked for anything better. We know that we have a limited summer in Chicago, and we have been immensely lucky for the last couple of days, and the forecast for next couple of days looks actually pretty precise for this event to come to a conclusion without any potential delays and cancellation. So pretty excited about that in terms of your question about my plans.
Definitely, I thought maybe you'd go out to Navy Pier, to LSD, Lakeshore Drive, and enjoying the beautiful weather.
Amen.
I think we would all like to do that, but again, cricket comes first here at the BPL Stadium. Quick single taken by John Campbell. I think the Freedom Fighters are a little bit on the back foot, not expecting United to come out and give them much of a challenge, but they've done exactly that.
Yeah, a bit of uncharacteristic attribute from Freedom Fighters batters at this stage of the game. Despite the fact that they are cruising along at almost 9 and over after 13.2, standing at 116 for 4. But again, it's the record and the stats, and we being in the commentary box and having been here for every single game.
And again, as I mentioned before, United's line and length has been impeccable. They're not giving the room, they're not giving the chances to the Freedom Fighter batsmen to go ahead and have a free range on whatever they desire. So again, give credit where credit is due. All bat involved there.
Never look close. Completely unconvinced from the umpire's stand of view in terms of the appeal for the leg before. And Freedom Fighters continue.
Again on the leg side for a wide. United has picked up maybe on a weakness, which I would not call a weakness, is keeping the ball on middle and leg. Not letting the batsman have that width, but a little bit off of your line and your length, and that ball's out of the stadium.
Played into the covers for a single. Coming back to your point, Amr, it is actually very interesting in terms of teams in this particular contest being able to work out the weaknesses of the opponents, doing their homework, having been able to watch this beautifully replayed broadcast, and quite a contrast.
Again, going down leg. Umpire's not interested, but the bowler certainly was. And again, take a look at those beautiful fireworks.
Bolingbrook, Illinois, 32nd place, rated highly as livable across the nation, proving the point of not only being livable, but also obviously for cricket avid fans to be able to come out and enjoy the game that they have a passion for. Beautiful view from our broadcast crew. Shout out to the team. Freedom Fighters continue after 14 over at 119 for loss of 4 wickets. they can certainly put the pedal to the metal and get on to be able to score a competitive, respectable total in this particular game.
Worked on the offside for a single. I think at 6 overs remaining, Steven Taylor working his way into it, getting his eye in as we saw yesterday. More than capable of hitting those long boundaries, scoring the runs at a very fast pace. And again, there you go. He pulls it. Oh.
A half a chance, would you say?
That was a full chance if the fielder was standing at the boundary, walking his way in. But again, a little bit ahead of where he was supposed to be at. I'm pretty sure the United captain is going to have a talk with his fielder. The batsman will take the runs any way, in any form that they come in.
Flick on the onside for a single, chase for the fielder. They actually run the second because the first one has
3 that was taken. And again, that was the heaviness of the field. As we see, the field has gotten a little heavy. The ball's not traveling at the pace that we've seen earlier in the games.
Armour is rather interesting in the contest of Chicago being obviously one of the most predictable region in terms of the weather. Last night at this stage of the game, we had a lot of dew factor come in. We haven't really seen much of that yet.
Definitely, but again, the weather has cooled down tremendously for tonight's game. Freedom Fighters hoping to put up a big total. Unfortunately, right now, 130 for 4 with a delivery remaining. Let's take a look at what he's going to be able to do. Trying to play a cheeky shot. Didn't expect that to go where he expected. Steven takes a little blow to the back with the ball. He's a big guy. He's going to be okay.
Absolutely. Just going back to the last game for the sake of the conversation. At this stage of the game, Kings were actually 5 down. Yet, they were able to produce some amazing knocks and get a lot of return from what they were able to do and post the highest total in the BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup. And it obviously proved to be something that was a monumental task for the Bolingbrook, and they were completely underdone by the mighty effective bowling of Kings, having a lot of international first class exposure and experience.
They have, but the Freedom Fighters have a stacked team, international level caliber players that have played international cricket. I don't think that they're worried at all about the score that they're at, 130 for 4 and 15. 5 overs remaining, going at, let's say, a 10 a run, and over 180 at the end of the innings. I think that's pretty defendable for this team, don't you think?
Driven powerfully into the long off region for a single. Coming back to the point that you made, Amr, absolutely. This is such a funny, interesting, and actually quite an amazing format of the game in which even 180 chasing under the lights can be quite a task for the team batting second. Another single taken onto the long off region. Rajesh continues. Steven at 23 off of 19, being ably supported by John at 8 off of 7.
That was a marvelous shot. Flick of the wrist for 6. I think it's about time that the freedom fighters go ahead and start showing their muscles. But again, United has been tremendous today, coming in, giving it 110%, not bowing down to the massive lineup that freedom fighters have brought into this Liberty Cup.
Defended on the back foot onto the onside for a single, taking freedom fighters to 139 at 15.4, a strong, healthy run rate of 8.87. Granted that traditionally, if they are able to bank on the fact that they got wickets in hands and they can unleash some talent and some firepower in the latter part of their innings.
Stroke right down the middle of the field, right over the bowler's head for 4. Stephen Taylor wants to go ahead and make sure he posts a big total, letting his bowler know that they have something to work with.
Flighted fuller delivery, played comfortably on the offside by Steven, who gets to 28 off of 21.
ओवर खत्म हो जाए ना तो ये जो बैठे ना इसके ऊपर इनके ऊपर क्राउड के ऊपर लेके आना हाँ
पूरा पूरा क्राउड उधर कर दो
सबके कर ले लो सबके Taking a look at the crowd that's sitting here, ARC players, Zubair Haq, Ziad Imtiaz, Rizwan Ahmad, and the legend himself, Arif Hokla.
Legend indeed.
Taking a look at all the beautiful people here at the BPL ground. Looking
Amr,
at the
this has
beautiful
been-
facility. Magnificent lighting. Mir has really got something good going on here.
Absolutely. Given the infancy of the league and in terms of what the precedents this league has been able to set. Wider of the off stump. This might be given as buys. They run 2. I'm not sure if Steven was able to have any bet on the ball.
I think there was a
Effective
tickle
runs
there, Rick.
nonetheless.
I think there was a tickle there. The bowler was definitely excited about that. Unfortunately, it was not taken. But then there was also a misfield. These are very crucial runs that United is going to want to stop.
Extremely wide off the off stump, signaled a wide by the umpire rightfully. Coming back to the point that you made, Amr, this is quite an amazing event. Placed it into the offside for a single, a slower delivery, of course. Freedom Fighters get to 148 for 4 at 16.2 at quite a healthy run rate of 9.06.
Dropped. That was a pretty easy take for this caliber of cricket that we're witnessing today. The fielder is going to be a little disappointed, as well as his teammates. Needs to focus on the game of cricket and making sure he is aware of everything that's going on. Worked on the leg side for a single. Steven doesn't want to waste much of his energy, just strolling right down the pitch.
Coming back to the drop, Amr, not discounting the local cricket on display. This should have been taken because at this stage of the game, we've got some amazing experienced and exposed players.
And that was
that have
another
been
drop
around.
right there, Rick, from the same fielder.
Much short of the window.
I've been told that it was a little bit short. The fielders don't seem to be walking in. Is that something that you focus on? Is that something that you expect players to be doing, Rick?
Driven on the onside for a single. Amr, I certainly feel the lack of agility and the athleticism and the body language in this particular format of the game has a lot to do in terms of what the statement is that you're trying to make to your opponents. And currently United's fielder are currently slightly taken aback in terms of what they are up against. Freedom Fighters have been extremely flawless with their batting with respect to being able to post already 153, and they got one delivery to go in the 17th over.
And that was high up into the air and taken off of long off. Easily taken. And as that fielder takes that catch, we have fireworks going off into the back. John Cunningham walks back into the pavilion. I think with that quick drink break, there was a message that was sent out. Get a move on it, guys. 3 overs remaining. Freedom Fighters, 153 for 5.
Absolutely, this being the 6th game of the event in last 2 days, teams have learned in terms of what the par score may be and in terms of the ability for the teams to be able to chase it down comfortably. Freedom Fighters absolutely cannot afford to take a step back and relax in terms of what they've been able to produce in terms of the run rate, and they ought to look forward to be able to post close to 190 or 195 with respect to being able to defend this total against United.
And I think United is going to be pretty satisfied with their performance so far. Their bowlers have stuck to the game plan. The fielders have been very energetic. Given the rumors or given the talk about around town at this Liberty Cup held in Bolingbrook, Illinois, this is not what was expected. Drives it on the offside for 2.
Check. We're getting some sort of signal there.
And again, overthrows. This is something that we've seen consistently
Check,
throughout
1,
these
2.
innings. United
Just
players have not been backing up their fielders.
check, check, check. There we go. We've got something
Lack
coming
of the
through there.
basic coverage.
Check 1
straight
2.
out of the coaching
So
manual
we've
of
got
101
wireless
in
sound
terms
to
of the
speaker.
backup, despite obviously the lack of consistent and precise throwbacks. Backup is a must in any format of the
1 2.
game, nonetheless being more important in this particular T20 format.
Check, check, check.
And again, not giving any room to Elmore Hutchinson, the new batsman in.
It's off at the moment.
Good delivery by Bhargav, not allowing any room
Something is happening.
to the batter, and he continues.
Just let me update you with whatever you were doing. The wireless was not coming at all. The feed.
Given by the umpire for leg before, it seemed to be hitting the middle or leg. Nonetheless, a success for United, being able to remove 7th for Freedom Fighters.
I don't
And
think
Steven Taylor is gone.
I don't think Steven was very satisfied or happy with that decision. He felt like he got an inside edge on it. I felt that there was going down the leg side, left-handed bowler coming over the wicket, the natural angle for a left-handed batsman is going down his leg side. But again, we're not in the middle. We're not a part of that game inside the field. But the decision has to be held up. We have to respect those umpires.
Absolutely, our umpire has the best sight. We can only see what we were able to see on the live broadcast, and as well as see it live on the ground. One thing that I have absolutely enjoyed is the consistency of the umpires throughout this tournament. Placed it on the onside for a single, getting to 157 at 17.3. Amir, having been able to secure the spot and being such a commanding position from a freedom fighter standpoint, when would you suggest that they should cut loose?
I think they're a little
I'll let you know.
3 to 4 overs a little too late, knowing the firepower that they still have, being down 6 wickets. Freedom fighters play deep. But again, you have to give respect to the United players. They've come out, haven't been overwhelmed. They haven't been overwhelmed by the situation facing the freedom fighters. Came out, showed their talent, and put the fighters on the back foot.
I have a feeling I got this.
Yeah, but that's not going to make the amplifier work.
Taking the fight to the fighters, pun intended. Another single taken on the onside, taking the freedom fighters to 160 for 6.
And that was a marvelous spell from Bhargav. 32 for 2 in his 4 allotted overs. Beautifully bowled, not giving much away, and taking the 2 big wickets that were required. Steven Taylor, as we saw, and I believe he was the one that took the wicket of Fahad Babar.
Absolutely amazing bowling at this stage of the game, Amir, as you and I have been talking about this particular format. Typically, bowlers do not like to have their stats discussed in this particular format because of the amazing, unforgiving format that this is.
Why can't I hear you
But
anymore?
credit must be given when it's due, and this has been a
Check
good
1 2. Check 1
bowling
2.
display at this stage of the game.
It has. It has. And I think the United players have definitely done their homework. The new age of sporting is heading towards analytics.
All I need to do is I need to
Taking a look at who's effective at what situation, taking a look at their numbers. We can learn this from baseball, football, as well as basketball. And I think LeBron James is pretty safe that he's not playing the game of cricket, because I don't think he would be much successful in this game.
Absolutely.
Check
He
1
would
2.
have been completely analyzed.
I can hear it.
Down to the core.
Check
Given
1
the
2.
modern technology that we have on hand.
It's not even.
And I absolutely love the fact that teams in the game of cricket have been able to work out the weaknesses and the strength and have a plan put together against them.
Again, in any game, you have to take a look at the weaknesses and the strengths of each individual player, as well as the teams themselves. And that's just the preparation. That's the game plan that you come into in any aspect of life. You have to take a look at the situation. You have to look at what you're up against. And I think United players have definitely done that today.
Check 1 2.
It will be quite interesting to see the chase. Freedom Fighters have been able to put up a respectable total thus far. They got 10 deliveries to go.
But this will just have to be quite close, because what's the distance?
And a thick outside edge. VJ takes another wicket. Marvelous bowling displayed by VJ. Going for the heave. And unfortunately not clicking other than the outside edge of the bat.
Classic seam bowling. Moving it away from the right-hander, inducing an edge, comfortably taken by the keeper. A massive tick, absolutely no hesitance from the umpire. Right away given as an out, and United making the inroads for restricting Freedom Fighters down to a
Check 1 2.
chaseable total.
try with this.
Check.
Definitely at 163 for 7.
Check 1 2.
At 18.3 overs. Just taking a look
Check 1 2.
at the
what
smiles on the
Check
United
1 2.
players' faces.
Oh, this
I think they're on top.
How did that got up?
I think that's what they believe. What do you think, Rick?
Oh no. Okay, but we're gonna just.
It's an
try to
interesting
see-
thought, Amr. You obviously have been
So this
subject
is
to
pretty loud.
training and playing against a lot more
similar.
than myself
We got
against
it.
United.
Okay,
The
let's
body
try it,
language
let's try it.
suggests that they got this.
So another wicket. And they're falling like a pack of cards at the moment.
They are, Jamie.
So we're not working off these.
Name of the player who took the catch. Name of the player.
So this is going to be right in front of you now.
Against the run of play towards the end of the innings in the penultimate over, the 19th that is. Freedom Fighters losing their 8 at 163, United on top. Vijay inducing 2 wickets back to back.
Looks like the Freedom Fighters have backed themselves against the wall. Trying to go at a higher pace and losing their wickets.
Such an interesting context this is, Amr. Typically, teams bank on the fact of being able to actually go wild in the last 4 or 5 overs in this particular format. And it often backfires. Kind of the case tonight for Freedom. Nonetheless, they have been able to post a respectable total on the scoreboard already.
Worked on the leg side. Coming back for the second. Is this going to be close? No, it's not.
I'll do something for you. Give me 1 second.
T20 contacts often taken for absolute pinch hitting and fireworks and the power, but the rotation of the strike at any stage and any moment of the game is absolutely crucial. Powerfully driven on the onside for a single, well fielded, and a good throw back straight into the wicketkeeper. That should be the end of the over from Vijay. A mighty effective over at this stage of the game, restricting Freedom Fighters at 166 for the loss of 8 wickets.
I don't think anybody was expecting what we're witnessing today. At 166 for 8, with only 1 over remaining, I think United is very satisfied with the position that they're in right now.
Amr, spare a thought when you get a chance for the experience and what you have seen in terms of their batting unit.
United has a pretty decent batting lineup. They're able to rotate the strike. They're able to hit the boundaries when required. Freedom Fighters are going to have to come in and bowl their hearts out. White ball.
Sluggish start of the last over, extremely wide of the white stumps, rightfully given as a wide delivery. Driven hard onto the offside for a single. Akil on 9 off of 7. Odin yet to get off the mark for Freedom Fighters. United keeping things very tightly controlled.
Hello.
Hoiked onto the onside by Akil. They run hard for a single, and they end up having...
The umpire has given it a boundary. Lovely placement of the ball by Odin. 4 deliveries remaining in the last over for United. Freedom Fighters are definitely taking advantage of this over, and they're going to need to. He didn't quite get all of that. Trying to come back for the third. This is going to be tight. The wicketkeeper didn't collect the ball before he broke the stumps.
Good running between the wicket. Setting the right standards, comfortably taken for 3. It was well struck. Amir, we have been talking about the comfort level that United bowling unit rather has might have been feeling. But we can absolutely also spare a thought for freedom fighters to be able to come back and defend this comfortably, because we have seen it being done in this BPL's Liberty Cup. If I had a dime every single time, the depth of the bowling induced wider, shorter length, making batters not being able to connect the ball. Yet again, batters wanting to actually indicate to the umpire that this should not have been given, this should have been given as a wide. However, turned down authoritatively. An illegal delivery counted as a dot delivery by Nassar. Last ball of the over, driven on the onside, and they comfortably take 2, bringing freedom fighters to 177 at 8. They finish off at 8.85, a competitive on-par score for their bowlers to come back and defend this. Last thoughts, Amir?
I think this is going to be a very good chase for United. Freedom fighters are really going to need to bowl their hearts out, as we've seen in the last couple of games, yesterday as well as today. You need to post up a big total, and tonight is the first night that we're taking a look at a total that's 177 for 8 at the end of their allotted overs. This is going to be a very tight game, Rick.
As we take the break from the innings, let us take this opportunity to appreciate our sponsors, the Liberty Medical Center, the Pepsi and Gatorade, and of course, Cricket Clubs for the live scoring and the broadcast. Let us also take this opportunity to thank umpires, supporting staff, broadcasting unit, as well as everyone in the commentary booth. Jamie and Amr. Day 2 of the BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup. Non-stop action. Day and night. Beautiful day. Beautiful day of cricket. We will be back in 10 minutes time for United. For the chase. Thanks to our fans online as well as the spectators present at ground at the BPL Cricket Stadium.
Test. Okay.
Hello, 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 hello. Test, 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 test.
I don't know. I've been following the game. I haven't watched it. I've been trying to cover this place. Down there. I'm not sure. I didn't see it. After Fahad, this time, Innings. What's that? Buffalo.
Yeah, but what? Test, test, test. Hello, hello. Test.
79 for victory.
I had you on mute for your first sentence. Sorry.
So the chase about to begin. The big man at the far end, Elmore Hutchinson, with the ball in hand.
We can do one thing. We can do one thing. Completely turn that speaker off. Move this here. Do that. Please. Dot.
So the big man, Elmore Hutchinson, with the ball in hand. Looks like Puran has taken the gloves. Couple of slips in place. And we're underway. Short ball, first up, right over the top of off stump. Swing and a miss from the batsman. We've got no score up here. It's coming. Good.
वाला mic, छोटा वाला.
Wireless.
हाँ?
That's it.
Wireless देखो नहीं.
Arjit is the man on strike.
केबल पड़ी है तुम्हारे? केबल का बॉक्स. सामने.
Short again.
इसके बराबर.
Again a swing and a
नीचे
miss.
लटक रही है. ट्रांसमीटर के साथ. No, other one. No, to your left. To your right. This guy. There you go. This guy. Yes. Just pick up the wire, not the transmitter. No, don't touch it. Just the wire itself.
So the batsman having a discussion in the middle of the pitch, partway through and over. It's only 2 dot balls, isn't it? 3. And again, same sort of delivery, same result. This time a little bit higher. He's been told that's the one above shoulder for the over.
क्या बोले मेरे में?
Yeah, transmitter वापस लगाओ उधर. Right? You need to put the transmitter back. There it was. Transmitter, yes.
Hospital, yeah. Just pick it
So no runs as yet for United 11. Oh, and this time he gets hit on the upper thigh. Almost a collision between batsman and bowler as they run through for what I'm sure will be signalled leg bye.
Impressive start by Elmore.
It's gonna be no sound for 3 seconds.
And it's also been signalled no ball
So no plus
for a second one over the shoulder. Elmore can't quite believe it. But he's not going to change his mind. Umpire has made his call. So there's a bit of feeling out there in the middle.
We're live now, audio-wise.
Yeah, I know. Now you're right.
So 5 no balls. The ball off the handle or the glove area, flying away over the slips cordon for 4, and it's also been signalled as a no ball. So free hit this time, again short, well under the shoulder this time though. And a dot ball to finish the over. The end of a good one bowled by Elmore Hutchinson. Six without loss the score. They need to score at 9 and over from here to chase down this total.
Welcoming you back, Jamie, into the commentary box. I reckon this is an achievable total given what we have seen so far.
Yeah, it's certainly achievable, but it's going to be tough. We know that the Freedom Fighters are stacked with world-class talent, and they'll be pretty disappointed, I imagine, that they were only able to put up 170 odd, and they'll be pretty determined to defend this.
Who's the bowler? Who's the bowler?
Bowler is Carlitos Lopez.
So Carlitos Lopez will be the bowler from the media centre end of the ground.
Wind has come down. No contributing factor for any end for the scoring perspective.
Oh, and short. And it's been called no ball. It must have been a front foot fault. So the second no ball already.
Rick, when you do that, you're kind of like straight shouting it, so the distortion will be created. Just try to touch it with your lips and be normal. Because with this, it's kind of making like that.
Thank you.
So extras proving to be costly at this stage for the Freedom Fighters. Looking to use his feet and come down the track towards Lopez. Just managing to get a single.
Delivery drifting down under the leg side after the no ball. Batsman premeditating an onside shot off of Carlitos, resulting into a single.
This time through to the keeper, no run. Extra bit of pace from these two bowlers is proving to be difficult for these batsmen to handle.
Jamie, I was quite impressed with the latter part of the Freedom Fighters bowling unit display. Really not allowing United, the Freedom Fighters batters, to be able to go and hit those big ones.
As we see, this is a good shot. Hitting it purposefully in the air over backward point for 4. And Ashwin, with his second boundary, moves on to 8. And there was nothing streaky about that shot. That was intentional, and he hit it right out of the middle of the bat. A little bit of room this time from Lopez outside the off stump. Enabled Ashwin to free the arms.
Rightly so. In this particular format of the game, anything you get the bat on the ball is uncalled for.
So 13 without loss. Partway through the second over. I mean, it's really going to be important here for United 11 to look to maintain wickets. And that's gone high into the night sky. Man down at third man takes the catch. Just as I was saying, they need to retain wickets. Fahad Babar takes a very good catch in the deep. A big top edge that flew high and hard down to his position. He had to come forward and took it low down, but plucked it cleanly in the end. And so the first wicket for United 11 going down. Carlitos Lopez, the successful bowler.
Carlitos providing the first breakthrough for Freedom in a timely fashion. Absolutely important from a defending bowling side to be able to make the early breakthroughs in making their opponents get on the back foot.
So we'll just have to wait to see who the new batsman is.
Rajesh.
It is in fact Rajesh. Rajesh Jena, who bowled a pretty decent spell at the top of the innings for United, but he's not on strike yet. Just lets that one go through outside the off stump, and that'll be the end of the second over. 13 for 1 after 2. Are United 11, needing a further 165 from 18 overs at a run rate of 9.17.
(10:15) local time. No hints of dew as yet. Working in favor for Freedom Fighters bowlers at this stage. We got to witness quite a bit of a dew factor for the Bolingbrook game last night at this time of the game.
And again, short of a length from Hutchinson up towards the gloves. Rajesh.
Just looking at that pace and the rise of the delivery, Jamie, I can't wait for the season 2 of the Liberty Cup being played on the actual turf next year.
Elmore's bowling with a certain amount of pace here. He seems fired up, does the big man. And Rajesh struggling to get bat on ball at this stage. Time down the leg side, that will be signalled wide.
Given what we have seen so far today in the second inning, these batsmen should be able to rotate the strike and not let this pressure get to them and let the required run rate rise.
Playing a miss again outside the off stump. Elmore sweating on a wicket here. He's bowled really well. He probably deserves a wicket. And again outside the blade of Rajesh. Just can't seem to get bat on ball.
short and outside of the off stump has been seemingly the recipe that has been used in 6 games thus far in this BPL's Liberty Cup. Mighty effective.
And again, as we see here, a replay of the catch. Let's have a look. Big top edge. Flew down towards Babar, and he caught it just above the ground. Clean as you'd like.
Brilliant catch under lights.
And back 5. Another play and a miss by Rajesh to end the 3rd over. 3 overs gone, 14 for 1, just the wide conceded off that over. So a very good one from Hutchinson. And the run rate required is sliding upwards for the United 11. It's up at 9.65 now. And once it passes 10, it's going to get pretty difficult. Ashwin will get another single to move to double figures. Rajesh yet to get off the mark, in fact yet to get bat on ball. He's played and missed 7 times.
A rather subdued start in pursuit of chase. Currently at 4.74, requiring 163 off of 16.5 at the required run rate of 9.68.
Well, he finally gets bat on ball this time. And Lopez unable to get his throw away. Slipping on the dewy surface. We saw last night dew was a factor in the 2nd innings. Doesn't look like it's quite as bad tonight, but certainly there is a bit of moisture on the surface, and Lopez, in trying to field the ball in his follow-through, has slipped. In the end, wasn't able to try and throw at the stumps at the bowler's end to effect a run-out.
Carlitos being right on target.
Again, short. Both the bowlers using the shorter pitch delivery to good effect here. At least half of the deliveries so far have resulted in a play and a miss.
Intuitive and a smart variation of the length, as we got to notice the 2nd delivery of the over inside the body line, making the batter rather little uncomfortable for that dab onto the onside, and then following up with a shorter delivery.
This time the top edge not carrying to Babar. So they really need to try and start finding the boundary to United. Just a little bit stagnant here. As we hear fireworks in the background. I'm sure the United team will be hoping their batsmen in the middle can produce some fireworks of their own.
Since you're staying here, Jamie, for the next 2 days, I'll have you know the town of Bolingbrook happens to put on an amazing fireworks competing with the city of Chicago.
And there's a big shot into the deep. Finally, Rajesh is able to get a decent chunk of wood on the ball. And he gets a boundary through the point region. Good looking shot to end the fourth over. 21 for 1 after 4. Rajesh 5 not out. Ashwin 11 not out. Both batsmen having faced just the 9 deliveries.
BPL providing their own fireworks in the form of this BPL's Liberty Cup. Lot of entertainment on hand in the first 2 days, and lot more to continue in the next 2 days.
And appeal this time, but there was no touch on it. Just yet another play and a miss by one of the United batsmen.
Elmore continues. 5th over of the innings. Wide of the off stumps. Lucky for the bowler for not having it called out as a wide.
It's bowled really well. In fact, both bowlers have bowled really well to date. This time using the pace, running it down towards third man. Lopez will do the tidy up work and just the single.
When the chasing teams let that pressure get built on and let the required run rate exceeding 12 and over, it often causes them troubles.
Again, a play and a miss. Rajesh really struggling, particularly when he's facing Hutchison. And again, play and a miss. Very frustrating for the big man. I'm sure it's equally frustrating for Rajesh. He's trying to hit the ball, but he just can't seem to get willow on leather at this stage.
Brilliant over from Elmore thus far, conceding only one.
And finally, Rajesh gets a single off Elmore's bowling. And that will end the 5th over, quarter of the way through the innings. 23 for 1 the score. And the run rate required is now at 10.3. They really do need to start finding the boundary on a regular occasion, otherwise this match is just going to drift away from them. They did really well with the ball and in the field, did United, but that's only half the game. They need to show up with the bat as well if they are to cause an upset tonight.
Was absolutely phenomenal in terms of bowlers, run flow, and Freedom Fighters to 178.
Again, ball animus from Lopez. Interesting. Stephen Taylor has stationed himself at a leg slip.
Jimmy, on the international arena, far too often these short and wide deliveries in this format get dispatched into the covers, don't they?
They do. Another good short pitch delivery. They'll get a single. They just cleans it off into the offside. Didn't really know a lot about the delivery. That fell safely enough.
This attacking partnership from the bowler's endpoint has been extremely effective. Into the sixth
Okay, thank
over,
you.
having
Thank
only
you.
conceded 24 and letting the pressure build on into the United batters.
Gee, I'm not even quite sure what happened there. Whether that came off the body or off the bat. Ended up in the hands of first slip. So it was in fact off the body. And this one's gone high in the air. Ken Dodson came running in, attempted to take the catch, but it's ricocheted off his body and gone down. So Chance goes bigging. Got to the ball, but
Replay.
it was unsighted.
This is a replay.
You can see another replay from an earlier incident.
Oh, never mind.
A
Sorry.
single. We're seeing a replay of a single. That's interesting. This time he's found the gap behind point again.
He's pleased, they're eating me alive.
So 2 runs in the end.
After this,
Good bowling from Kalidos continues.
Oh, that's a fiery bouncer. And that will end the over. Not happy with the drop catch of his bowling. Not happy with being
here is it.
struck.
Here it is. Here it is. This is the drop catch.
Here's the drop catch. Let's have a look. Dodson coming running in. Oh, and it's got him on the shoulder.
One more time.
Let's have a look again. That's a lot of ground. Ends up hitting him on the chest or the shoulder.
Jimmy had done all the hard work though. It was right inside of the body line. He had made the run. Unfortunate.
Kaisa?
Did not have been able to make it, but should have been taken at that point because he had done the hard work.
Stephen Taylor bringing himself on from the far end. Looks like he's going to bowl medium pace. Of late has been bowling off spin to the ear spin, so he's quite capable of bowling. Required is ballooned up to 10.71 now. Swing and a miss.
Miles away from the ball. I reckon one of these two batters have to make the intent of playing, connecting, and scoring if they are to have a chance to chase this total down in the remaining 13 overs.
This time back to ball. It's a man in the deep. They'll come back for two. Oh boy. It's a strong arm from the deep, whoever that was.
Impressive fielding display, not only the pace at which it got thrown back, but right on the target.
So the way Turan quickly whipped
अली
off
भाई
the bail.
मेरा फोन इधर कहीं पड़ा हुआ है देखें
Swing and a miss.
बॉलिंग मैन यहाँ आ रही है
I
इसकी
would
बॉल
love to get the stats of how many swing
ये पड़ा
misses we've had in
ये
this
पड़ा हुआ
innings.
ये इधर इधर
Like
पीछे
I
रेड
mentioned, I signed
आमिर
up
भाई
for
को दे दे
broken
आमिर भाई को
record, but
आमिर भाई ये
haven't
प्लीज
been
फोन
able to
फोन
watch
पकड़ा दे
it
प्लीज
and commentate on 6 games on the trot. The most effective bowling line and length for those that are listening has been short and wide, and batters have not really been able to
no
connect.
boundary yet
But the most
like for last
part of
Yeah,
it
there's not going to be any boundaries, I don't think, in this innings.
good over this by Steven. Only 4 conceded. 2 deliveries remaining.
देखिए अमर भाई कैमरा
4 off of the 5th delivery off of Steven.
मैं डर गया था मैंने पैन नहीं किया इसलिए नो रिप्ले
Taking the United to 35 for 1. 1 delivery remaining off of Stevens' first over.
So 36 for 1 after 7. One of the more expensive overs so far in the innings. 9 runs coming from Taylor's first, but still not enough. They need to go at 11s from here. Once the run rate gets up to that sort of level, you really need to be scoring at least a boundary and over. As we see Nikita Miller for the first time this evening.
Wickets in hand or not, you just can't allow that required run rate to climb up that high. It puts an immense amount of pressure on you. It has been a slow start, and United batters have to get going. single off of Nikita's first over down the ground. Well bowled by Nikita. Dab down into the short line right for a single.
All of a sudden, these batsmen look a bit more comfortable with the speed off the ball. Just the pace of Lopez and Hutchinson is giving them all sorts of trouble. Not exactly smashing Taylor and Miller to all parts, but certainly they're not in fear for their lives like they were a few overs ago.
Absolutely looking rather comfortable against the slower options. Getting their cause on the go in the pursuit of this chase. Remaining 138.
Flipped around the corner this time, but again, just another single. And just seem to be content to get singles at this stage. But that run rate required at the end of 18 is now almost 11 and a half.
Singles regarded highly, rotation of the strike regarded highly, but in this particular format of the game, unfortunately, they do allow for the required run rate to rise beyond control, as evident in this particular tournament. Batters absolutely can't allow and expect to let that continue and not be able to go for the cause.
Taylor to bowl his second over now. And the short ball proving effective.
Short and wide, the recipe of the tournament thus far, in terms of the effective bowling, that are nowhere near the connection.
And again, almost an action replay. Oh, finally bat on ball.
Skipper's experience shining. Only in his second over, inducing dot deliveries. Wider of the off stump, give it a miss.
Super wide this time. Seemed a little bit harsh, but as long as the umpires are consistent, no issues. Struck him on the upper thigh and they'll scamper through for an extra. By is signalled. game just kind of meandering along here, not too much intent being shown by the United 11. Shot down the ground for one.
Absolutely no intent yet shown by these two for the cause of the chase. It's one thing to be able to remain on the crease with the wickets in hand. Is another thing to let the required run rate to continually wildly raise.
Another short ball this time. And so from the umpire, that's his one for the over. Taylor enjoying the opportunity to bowl off the long run. Driving. No timing whatsoever. Just the single. And that ends Taylor's second over and the ninth of the innings. And the run rate required is now tipped above 12. So they need 2 runs a ball from here. It's going to have to take a remarkable turnaround and intent.
Jamie, do you reckon one of these two at least have to get into the T20 format and try to take the fight back to the Freedom's bowlers?
Yeah, absolutely. They need a big over somewhere in the next few just to get some momentum in the innings. I don't think they've had an over yet where they've scored more than 10.
Guys, I think you're. I don't know if you guys are. I think they're saying that the voice is low now. Have you guys been?
The volume seems
Yeah.
low on the line.
Yeah.
You haven't seen anything.
Another swing and a miss, or at least it was a dot ball. Just adds to the pressure. This time connection, but he's picked out mid-wicket. And finally,
Man,
this rather painful partnership.
रिकॉर्ड ही नहीं किया, मैं ऑडियो चेक कर रहा था.
Broken.
क्या होता?
कभी-कभी हो जाता है ऐसे. अभी अपन
Assuring
बिजी होते
me
हैं, ऐसे-ऐसे मोमेंट आते
been there
हैं.
since the start. Finally
अपन
dismissed.
सोचते भी नहीं हो जाता.
कैसे
on
होता है?
19. Simple enough catch taken at mid-wicket. Picked him out perfectly.
Concur to the point of the painful partnership coming to the end, because both of these were going at around 50 strike rate, unwarranted for this particular format of the game, in terms of especially being able to chase down this total.
अपन क्या होता है, फ्लैश होता है कभी-कभी 1 सेकंड में हो जाता है. अपन तो तेरी ये
हाँ.
Freedom Fighters on top at the moment. United at 46 for 2 at 9.3, going at about 4.84 run rate, needing to get past the total, requiring 132 from 10.3 overs at the 12.57 run rate.
New batsman will take strike straight away. And what a surprise. Yet another play and a miss. Kalyan is the new batsman. Let's bat on this one. And the catch is taken. Lopez on the long off fence swallows that one with ease, and the second wicket in the over. Kalyan doesn't bother the scorers. And certainly not in terms of runs scored. He's bothered them because now they have to enter in the wicket. But United slip further into the mire. Run rate required now.
They told me that it's Kalyan. I cannot
13.
change that. That's what I told. He told me that first is Kalyan and I have the numbers. He said Rajesh and then Kalyan. I'm sorry. Somebody has to be here. Kalyan out. संजीव ताऊ है कल्याण ताऊ अभी कल्याण है
Freedom fighters continuing to make the inroads in defending this total. United losing their third. Meanwhile, the required run rate ballooning up almost at 13 and over. Hoiked over to the long on region for a single.
I think there was a dot.
There it's one short for the over.
No, one dot, wicket,
Okay.
and then a single.
An extremely good over from Nikita. 1 dot, wicket, dot.
Wicket.
Followed up by with
And then
another wicket and one.
Caught by Lopez.
Conceding only 2.
The last ball was 1.
Caught by Lopez.
I corrected it.
Yep,
Who's
that's
the bowler
perfect.
now? Who's the bowler?
Number 12.
Number 12. Odi Brand.
Yep. So Odion Brown for his first over. And he takes a wicket. First ball. Good catch by Fahad Barber in the deep again. His second. And all of a sudden the wheels seem to be falling off the United innings. And this was always in danger of happening, that those first couple of partnerships were not scoring at any sort of a rate, and it's put too much pressure on, and now the wickets are starting to fall at regular intervals as the pressure to score at some sort of a run rate has come to bear.
Regardless of the format of the game, when you've got your top batters not being able to produce and get their eye in,
Now Kalyan is in, right?
you're putting on immense pressure onto the middle order batsmen as well as the lower tailenders for you guys to be able to do the job. Great replay
Guys,
being viewed here. Fahad Babar taking a tumbling, but a very well judged catch. United 4 down for 47. Going rather slow at 4.62 run rate. Required run rate almost at 13.5.
And Rajesh gets a single. Almost run out at the non-striker's end, looking for 2. But again, a powerful throw from the deep, forcing him to scramble back into his ground. And the new man taking strike for the first time. We think it's Kalyan.
thank you.
Pulls it around the corner this time. We'll get at least one. They are going to come back for the second this time. This time beating the outside edge. Leg break. Just gripping the surface a little. Sliding past the outside edge of Kalyan's bat. And a similar shot to his first scoring shot. Around the corner for a couple. So a dot ball to finish the over. Nikita Miller to continue from the media centre end of the ground. Rajesh looking to use his feet. He'll just get a single though. Last ball of that last over was a dot. And then a single first ball of the new over.
Who is bowling? Nikita Miller, right?
Yeah, Miller.
Who took that dot and now it's
Single.
1 run, single.
Yeah,
Rajesh took that single.
correct. So run rate required above 14 now. And this seems to be his stock shot. It's to pull it around the corner. Just a single on this occasion. They've stationed a man at backward square leg. Left-hander now back on strike. Rajesh this time tugs it around the corner for a run, but it's all coming in singles, which is just not enough at this stage. They need to find the boundary. They need 2s and 3s. Every single at this stage is a victory for the Freedom Fighters. Oh, and just out of reach of the outstretched arm of Elmore Hutchinson. Two runs in the end for Kalyan. Living dangerously. Swing and a miss. So another dot ball to end the over. 12 gone now, 57 for 4. Run rate required now 15. And just have a look at the replay of that half a chance. Oh, couple of inches over the top of Elmore's fingers. Brown. Brown will continue from the far end. And the easiest stumping you could ever hope to get as a keeper. Rajesh looking to come down the track.
Very first ball.
Never got to the pitch. And Puran does the rest eventually. And Brown has another wicket. His second.
Huh? Very good. भाई कौन है बैट्समैन?
So perhaps the Freedom Fighters may have been a little bit disappointed with their performance with the bat, but they've been absolutely professional with the ball and in the field. Just about every opportunity has been taken in terms of catches, now stumping. And all the bowlers have bowled really well. Hyatt, the new man in the middle.
United certainly on the back foot in the pursuit of this chase at 5 down for 55, needing 121 from less than 8 overs to go at 15.78.
Down the leg side this time. Will probably be signalled wide. Oh dear. And that's the dew factor coming into effect. So 3 wides.
Luckily for them, did the dew factor coming into the latter part of the innings, unlike Bolingbroke's last night. Their bowlers are struggling from the get-go, perhaps from 5th and 6th over.
Going to concede an overthrow here, but a direct hit may have seen a run out.
These dabs and unwarranted slash and cuts for single. Looking impressive, rather ineffective for the cause here tonight.
This time finding a gap in the outfield. They should get 2. The throw from the deep was a bit of a wild one. So they made it home pretty comfortably.
Down on the leg side, heave and a miss.
Well, they've completely foxed the umpire there. It was down the leg side, never peeled.
Or something.
He's forgotten to signal wide.
Or something.
Bit of gamesmanship. Very clever. They get a single off the final ball of the over. 13 gone now. 16.3 the required rate. And unfortunately, as far as the spectacle goes, this match has been a bit of a fizzer again. I used that term in the last game. We thought perhaps that United would be all fired up to try and chase this down after they did such a good job in the field, but they've really shown little to no intent since the opening salvos of Elmore Hutchison and Carlitos Lopez. I think it sucked all the steam out of the chase as John Campbell comes into the bowling attack. And again, Kalyan showing that he's got a liking to pull the ball around the corner.
An attempted pull onto the onside, yielding into a single towards fine leg region. Going back to the point that you made just made, Jamie. Certainly, from the spectator standpoint, our standpoint, we wanted to see more interesting, close, competitive contest. Nothing to take away from the Kings' batting in the last game. Nothing to take away from United's amazing bowling, Freedom Fighters' bowling effort earlier in this inning.
And that's another catch swallowed in the deep. Brian Gale, I think this time, making it look simple.
What was that catch number?
I think it was number 8. I think it's Brian Gale.
Dean Brown?
Hmm?
Dean Brown? The guy who took the catch?
No.
Wickets continue to tumble
Brian Gale.
for United.
Number 8
6 down at 67.
Dean Brown?
Requiring 111
No,
from 6.3
it
overs
was Brian Gale.
at 17 and over. At this stage of the game, anything that is required from these batters is to actually have a go at them. Nudging it down the ground for a single, unfortunately, may not do it. An attempted pull, mistimed, well fielded, short fine leg region, dot delivery. John may have been slightly surprised by the pace of the throw coming back at him. Well fielded, good fielding display by the Freedom Fighters. Not allowing any room for United to free up and make up for the required run rate.
I don't know. I think it's
68 for 6. 6 overs remain. Brown this time won't get away with one down the leg side. Signalled wide by the umpire. So Brown, 13 for 2, partway through his third over. Another one of the freedom fighters that has bowled well. Oh, and the googly this time. Certainly didn't pick it. Perhaps turning too much. Umpire thinking it might have been missing leg stump.
At this stage, you would say for United's batters to be able to chase this down, some heroics have to happen as they let the required run rate climb almost to 20 and over from the remaining 5.4 overs.
Bat cuts this time, manages to beat the infield, but just the one. So Bhargav underway straight away. So another late finish here tonight. It's after 11 p.m. And another shot in the air. This time the catch is not claimed. Elmore Hutchison not quite getting his hands under it at long on. But a reminder, we'll be back here tomorrow. We see another swing and a miss. Yeah, the first game tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. ARC versus United, so another match from this pool. And basically it's a straight quarter-final because the winner of that game will be the second team to qualify from the group. Of course, Freedom Fighters will go through top after winning both of their matches against ARC and this one here against United. I think we can confidently say that they're going to go on and win this. Well, then tomorrow, like I say, whoever wins between ARC and United, they will finish second in the group, with the top two from each group going through to the semi-finals. So we have a look at the replay here. Hutchinson perhaps slightly misreading that catch while it was in the air. In the end, it's going to have little consequence in the outcome of this game. John Campbell to continue with his little off spinners. Driving over the infield is Bhargav. But they just take one. They will get an overthrow though. So in the end, the two they probably should have got, they do get.
Yeah, because especially these two umpires.
Place it in the cover from the back foot for no run. Good line and length from John, as displayed from the most of the freedom bowlers this innings. Slashed down to the third man region and they run two comfortably.
So we've just heard that in fact the first match tomorrow is at 8 a.m. What's that?
The umpire is the third for the first one.
We caused the conversation. I knew there was at 8 a.m. but because of the fact that the game that we had today was delayed to 10, Jamie assumed that it was going to be at 10. But according to my schedule, it's at 8 a.m.
Big shot down the ground, finally. And I believe that's the first 6 of the innings. Unfortunately, it's come at 15.4 overs. Perhaps this is a late push for victory.
Absolutely. Too little, too late, perhaps. That is what may have been required from the get-go. Couple of initial slowers may have not mattered, but the regular loss of wickets of United and the apprehension to go for the big shots have totally gotten them into this rut where they find themselves at needing 21.5 per over to make this happen. Meanwhile, they run 2. Taking them to 87 for 6.
I thought it was 2. It's 1 only.
86 for 6, rather.
Well, I think it's over.
It's a new over.
Way down the leg side, signaled as a wide.
First one was a dot.
First one dot?
Dot, then wide.
Flighted delivery, deceiving the batters from Odin.
It's also meant to be Bargard on strike. So maybe the last.
That's 6 scored by.
Down the leg side, comfortably pulled into the short fine leg region for a single by Kalyan.
3 to go.
I'm not sure who hit the 6.
3 deliveries remaining in this 17th over, finding United having to go at almost 25 and over to be able to chase this down. Good bowling from Odin. Continues. 1 to go.
मेरे भाई, any chance आप बोल सकते हो 6 कौन मारे थे?
Dabbed it down to the short third man. And it's a dot delivery. Well fielded.
Replay में देख सकते हो 6 कौन मारे?
United currently at 89 for 6. 3 overs to go. Needing 89.
Who hit that 6? Is it left-hander or the right-hander?
In the last over?
Yeah. That's the left-hander, right?
Was it the left-hander who hit the 6th in the last
No
over?
idea.
I have
Wasn't
no
really
idea.
watching.
I wasn't really paying attention. I'm sorry.
New bowler, number 2.
इसको अभी डालो.
Played at the back foot onto the offside for a single. Slight fumble from the fielder, only conceding 1 run.
2.
Beg your pardon, make that 2.
So Akil Hussain in for his first over. Wide outside off, slapped over the infield. And again, troubles with the dew and the deep.
Massive slide.
Elmore Hutchison lucky not to injure himself. 2 runs the result.
Punch of the back foot. No score. Short arm jab into the offside for a single. Pulled onto the onside. Square of the wicket for a single. Absolutely zero intent shown here for the chase. Seemingly wanting to just go for singles and finish the innings. Upish hoiked over onto the onside. Yet for another single only. And
Don't get it.
end of the over. 96 for 6, needing 82. Here's a look at the scorecard for Freedom Fighters. Akeem going for 9. Fahad and Brian putting up a good partnership, 34-43 respectively. Nicholas for none. Stephen coming in and actually scoring 35 off of 26, followed by John, who did 17 off of 12. Elmore for 2. Akil not out at 17.
John Campbell.
Almost everyone pitching in to be able to get to 177 and put that competitive score on board to be able to put the United under pressure from the on-go. Sweeped onto the onside for a single by Callion. Swatted on the offside into the cover region for a single. Upish but safe. Another dot delivery. Kalyan trying to get into the line of the delivery. Only defending it at the end. Another uppish sweep into the square region. Played it onto the onside for a single. 100 up, 101 rather, for United at the end of 19 over.
Well, it's just petering out to an end. Just 1 over remaining. And Freedom Fighters are going to run out big winners here. And they will top the group. There's a little under edge. Will run away for a run. At least I think it was a run. No signal from umpire Malela.
बैट्समैन के रन्स एडिट करना, दोनों के चेंज करना.
Swing and a miss.
अच्छा, मैच होने के बाद भी एडिट कर सकते हैं हम.
So finally a big shot actually connects. Not sure why they didn't do that earlier in the innings. 109 for 6, 2 deliveries remaining. Required run rate of 207.
Mind-boggling, isn't it? It's not that they were 8-9 down in the latter part of the innings. I just haven't been able to witness any intent from any of their middle-order batsmen in trying to chase this down. They were more inclined to nudge it down the ground for a single, and that was never the case.
And perhaps fittingly, the final act of the match is a play and a miss. And Freedom Fighters have run out winners by 69 runs. So congratulations to them. They will top the group. United 11 have another opportunity tomorrow when they take on ARC in what is effectively a straight quarter-final shootout to see who will qualify for the semis on Tuesday. But in the end, a pretty comprehensive display by Freedom Fighters. They may have been a little bit disappointed in some of their batting, but in the end, the 178 they scored was by far enough, and the bowlers and the fielders did a fantastic job. You can see them out in the middle congratulating each other. So we have a quick look at some of the bowling figures. Elmore none for 8 from 3. Lopez 1 for 18 from 3. Taylor none for 12 from 2. Nikita Miller 2 for 12 from 3. Odean Brown 2 for 20 from 4. John Campbell 1 for 22 from 3. And Akhil Hussain none for 15 from 2. The wickets falling at 13, 46, 46, 47, 57 and 67. And really, the innings just never had any sort of momentum. And there is the batting card. In terms of the chase, not a lot to talk about. Kalyan with, I guess, a fighting 32, but his strike rate was under 100, so not really contributing towards a push for victory. Only one man had a strike rate of over 100, and that was Bagav, not out 18 off 15. So, slightly disappointing way to end the day in terms of a spectacle. But regardless, a good performance from Freedom Fighters. They'll be happy. A win is a win. And just a reminder that tomorrow we will be back here at the BPL Cricket Stadium to bring you the third day of round robin matches at the Liberty T20. And just thanks to our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi, Gatorade, and of course Cricket Clubs. Their support has made this tournament possible. And we'll be back at 8 AM tomorrow morning for ARC versus United. But for now, we're signing off from the BPL Stadium. It's time for everyone to go to bed. We'll see you early tomorrow morning.